Speed. No, not that speed. This one. Humans are always looking to do things faster. We invented cars to get from point A to point B quicker because horses weren't cutting it. We invented fast food so people don't have to leave their cars to grab a meal. We even invented the subscribe button and the notification bell to instantly see when I post. But my point is that if we can make a process go faster, we usually will. Of course, just because you can do something faster doesn't always mean you should. And although most people associate speed with going fast, that isn't always the case. And speed is constantly changing too. When looking at a combat sport like boxing, speed can determine how a boxer fights. Mike Tyson is famously known for his offense. His fast and powerful punches usually led to knockouts. The average duration of his matches were about 3 rounds. And on the other hand, Floyd Mayweather is known for the complete opposite. Being able to slowly drag out matches and drain the opponent's energy by weaving around attacks won him a lot of fights. Both athletes are successful but have different methods of slowing down or speeding up the match to win. The same can be said about fighting games. Certain characters excel in closing out the match fast, while other characters will literally time you out if you let them. Today, we're going to talk about how speed affects fighting games. But before we get started, today's video is sponsored by BuildBox. BuildBox is a platform that helps you develop your very own games and make money from it, without needing any prior knowledge in coding. You can create all sorts of games from shooters, arcade games, card games, puzzle games, and many more. There's a good chance you might have already played a game that used BuildBox, as some of them have risen to the top of the charts on the App Store. Once you're in the application, you can get started quickly using the game wizard and pick from a variety of templates and assets to create your own game. The UI is very organized and simple, so it's easy to use and you can find everything you need. And by the way, they have a built-in shop that's being constantly updated with free and premium assets, so you'll always have something new to work with. BuildBox has 2 versions. One is the classic version, which allows you to make 2D games, and the other is BuildBox 3, where you can create 3D and 2D games. But the best part is that you can try them both for free. So if you want to create your own games and make money off of them, then make sure to click the link in the description to sign up for free and start right away. Thank you to BuildBox for sponsoring, and I hope you guys enjoy the rest of this video. There are 3 things that I think speed can alter: movement, attacks, and the overall game speed. Having fast movement in fighting games can give you big advantages. The rushdown archetype tends to have the fastest characters, as their game plan relies on overwhelming the enemy with attacks. It's the reason why characters like Chip from Guilty Gear are so annoying to deal with. Chip's entire moveset is built around moving quickly. He has the fastest dash and a triple jump. Because of how free it is to abuse dashes and jumps in this game, Chip greatly benefits from that. He can also run up walls, and a lot of his special attacks are hard to punish with how fast they move him around the screen. This makes him really unpredictable because of the severe amount of movement options Chip can mix you up with. They also gave him a command throw because why not? But even when he's not on offense, he still really has a good neutral game. Chip's quickness allows him to position himself easily to whiff punish his opponents. To fully sum up his playstyle, he basically moves like a mosquito buzzing around in your face, and every time you try to swat him away, he punishes you. Now to be fair, all of that quickness does come with a price. If you manage to break through his offense and land a combo, you will be rewarded heavily for it. I wasn't kidding when I was comparing him to a mosquito. It only takes a couple of good hits or 2 Potemkin busters to kill him, and if everything aligns just right, you can get a touch of death combo on him. I know it seems extreme, but Chip is still a really good character despite his health. If you didn't have that, Chip would be the best character in the game by far. Another common downside to the rushdown archetype is a lower damage output. But no matter how much propaganda Chip mains will tell you, he still does a solid amount of damage. Sure, it's not the best in the game, but it's by far not the worst. Chip, Milia, or Jacko can all play the rushdown style but output way less damage. How fast your attacks come out can be just as valuable as your movement. If 2 people attack each other at the same time, unless one of the moves is given properties like armor or invincibility, the faster attack will always win. Brawlhalla has an interesting way of dealing with attack speed. There are 4 different attributes: attack, defense, speed, and dexterity. Every character has their combination of these 4 things, and you have the ability to add 1 bar extra of whatever stat you pick at the cost of removing one. And the game decides which one gets removed, by the way. But dexterity is what I want to focus on. This stat alters how fast you can recover after inputting an attack. It doesn't necessarily make the animation faster, but in theory, the next move you input after your first attack will come out faster than if you had less dexterity, if that makes sense. This allows for more tighter strings and sometimes can unlock new combos. Usually these combos aren't anything too significant, maybe a 2 or 3 hit combo, but on the extreme side, some characters can really benefit. But dexterity overall in Brawlhalla isn't that good. The benefits are marginal and only a few characters are actually better off in the dex stance. The reason for this is because the tiniest amount of changes in dex can have very volatile consequences, so allowing it to be as good as other stances can create some issues. We got a glimpse of this 3 years ago when Qatar Dare got a 1 frame dex increase, allowing Lin Fei to get access to a 3-hit combo. This skyrocketed her from being a top tier character to one of the best, and Sandstorm, who was the #1 player at the time, took advantage of that. This was only a 1 frame change, so you could imagine what a slightly bigger increase would do. Changing the dexterity of the characters is a lot harder than changing other attributes, since how much it can really affect the game, so I understand why they decided to make it not as useful. In most fighting games, you can set the frame rate as high or as low as you want to compensate for your computer's resources. But in fighting games, a lot of them are locked at 60 frames per second. This is because they use the frames as an actual time measurement, so the speed of the animations are directly tied to the frame rate. If they allowed uncapped FPS, it would speed up or slow down the game. But apart from animations, damage output vastly affects the pacing of a match. Something I don't like about Guilty Gear is how fast the matches end. Since the damage output is so high, it really only takes 3 unlucky interactions for the round to end, 2 if you're Chip. You can get completely washed one round and then do the exact same thing to your opponent the next. And sometimes you haven't even processed what happened yet. It's really volatile. In Street Fighter, we see this happen less. Now don't get me wrong, you can get washed in this game too, but you have more opportunities to guess right defensively since not every hit can lead to a big damage combo. Another big part of it is that you can't jump or dash nearly as free in Street Fighter. There are no air blocks or air dashes in that game, so if your opponent times their anti-air or air-to-air correctly, you'll get punished every time. You can really see how much restricting or unrestricting movement can affect the pace of the overall match. In my opinion, Guilty Gear wants you to go all out with fast-paced offense, since a lot of moves are plus on block, while Street Fighter takes a slower, more methodical approach, allowing for more adaptation between rounds. And then there's platform fighters. Because your win condition is the blast zone and not depleting your opponent's health bar, pacing of the match can go either way. It's either the longest game of your life or the shortest. And sometimes it starts off slow, but all of a sudden it's over. Because of how much space you can create between you and your opponent, running away is an actual strat. You can just passively wait for them to make a mistake and punish. On the other side, being really aggressive and gimping your opponent can make a match end in 30 seconds. It really captures both sides of the spectrum. I think it's a good thing that a variety of games handle speed differently. I can really appreciate the slow and precise ones, as well as the quick and chaotic ones. I don't think I would like it if every fighting game was either super fast or really slow. Different genres also benefit from certain speeds. For example, titles that fall under the anime genre will most likely have a plethora of fast aerial movement options like air dashes or double jumps. And it makes sense because a lot of anime fight scenes involve superhuman-like movement. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you disagree with anything I said, let me know in the comments. I also want to know what your preference is. Do you guys like slow or fast fighting games? As always, make sure to like and subscribe. Join the Discord if you want to hang out with us. Follow my Twitter for updates, and you can head over to my Patreon for extra content. I hope you guys have a great day. Peace.